Hey, this video is of Highway 9 south of Black Mountain, North Carolina from October the 10th. I'm showing the landslide that covered the three switchbacks headed out of Black Mountain. My name is Dominic Tavernetti. I've lived here in Black Mountain with my family for 8 years. The purpose of the video is to just show the reconstruction and recovery from the floods and landslides and such from Hurricane Helene. There are plenty of videos out showing devastation. My aim is just to show our recovery from it. So both locals and tourists can see what's going on and know when it's a good time to come back. Let me flip over for a second to a map and show you where we are. So to our west is Asheville, Swannanoa, and Black Mountain. I live right between the two on the west side of Black Mountain. And the video you're looking at now are from these three switchbacks when you're headed up to the Continental Divide, going over 9, headed south. They've got all the heavy equipment in now. It's pretty amazing. They're working really quickly. But there are quite a few roads that are out and need repair headed south. You recognize this building here. All of these cars have been stuck since the storm. This landslide just missed them and went down to the left and into the Christmont community. Now I'm panning up, and I'll pan left and you'll see the town of Black Mountain. Just out here in the distance. Now I'm going to drive up and I'll show you what those switchbacks look like as you're driving up. You see the road was cracked there. Fortunately, each of these switchbacks, the inside lane remained intact. This one on the bottom up here, now that they have it cleared, a couple days before this, there was only one lane was open. But it appears they cleared the landslide off and the cement remains. But that is not the case for the two other switchbacks up above. This is the middle, and the outside lane is missing entirely. And then as we come around to the top switchback, it's the same. And you'll see the guardrail stayed intact, but is hanging on off of the cliff there. Then as it was just a little bit higher, it was a little bit closer to where the spring, natural spring is being piped out with the PVC pipe up on 9. Favorite spot to go get water. And then as you come down, this is just before Chestnut Hill Road, you can see they haven't yet gotten to repairing telephone lines and power lines. A lot of them still remain down. Here's a common site down 9 where the Broad River has undercut the road. And there are areas where you'll see the dirt or logs will be piled up to indicate not to drive over that area. Again, more landslides. And the Broad River came up so high, it took out a number of houses. At this point right here, I'm going to pause and show you where we are. Where we are on the map. So if we zoom back out, we're going south on 9 at this point. I believe it's here. Worley Welding. Disregard where Google Maps is showing the Broad River. It clearly does not go through that building. It actually tracks along this side, and 9 is missing. A temporary road has been routed up into the property in front of Worley Welding's buildings to get around that section. Just before getting to that point, there's an aid station here on the left. I believe that might be at a church. I don't recall. So this is where 9 is knocked out and rerouted right up into this private property. Pull over for a second to let the police go by. So many places along Broad River here carved right down to bedrock. I'm going to pause again to show where we are on the map here. So I'm approaching Lower Sand Branch Road where there's a detour. That detour takes Lower Sand Branch around, and then you come back into 9 past here. And that's because this bridge is out, and I'll show a video walking over it as well as a drone shot of this area. Turning here at Lower Sand Branch Road. In that area of the bridge, I think was just undercut, not even where it was going over the river, but the river had eaten into the road leading up to the bridge, and then the trees were forced through it. I'm going to scrub forward a little bit. Here's the drone shot of that bridge. I'm going to scrub forward just a little bit more. You'll recognize this property here. It's I understand that before I moved here in 2015, it was an RV camping spot. Now there's a beautiful modern ranch, metal roof. They had a nice lawn and garden, maybe some crops out front, and that all looks like a sandbar at this point. The house looks like it was okay. I believe it was just up on a mound enough that it was not damaged by the flood. I'll scrub forward. I fly over this bridge and get down in the riverbed. Like almost everywhere along all of the flooded areas throughout this region, this debris consists of everything from trees and telephone poles to houses, pieces and parts of people's lives, vehicles. You'll see a vehicle here coming up on the right. So this is a blue car here. It's got that marking where it has been cleared. Someone from search and rescue made sure that nobody was in it. Then after this drone cuts, I continue driving around Lower Sand Branch and show some houses and show the farm just here to the left.
This farm, but water just came through and completely took out their greenhouse.
So many lives were livelihoods were wrecked and lives were lost in this flood. But the purpose of these videos that I'm going to release are not to highlight so much the devastation, but to show our recovery from it. Here's where we cut back onto 9 from Lower Sand Branch, and you can continue south on 9. Keep an eye on these sections. Spray paint, often logs or sand piles are used to indicate the side of the road that is undercut by the river, and the asphalt is just slung. There's nothing underneath it to drive on. Power lines are still down. Some are indicated with these caution tapes, some are not. This is further going back north on 9, just some drone footage. This entire valley floor here was covered with water. Some of these houses are standing. These RVs are washed up into the side of this house here. All along the left where the flow of the water was on the outside of the river, you see a lot of the debris, and this stuff is piled up as high as 10 to 12 feet. Saw a trailer up kind of high in the trees there, and then you can see some of the sand and sediment over here. Now this is not the width of the river. This is essentially like a tidal pool. It was carved out from the flood, and somewhat stagnant water remains there. You'll see as we go forward. It's just a low spot left after the water receded, and the actual size of the broad river is getting back to normal and is just to the left over here. I'm going to scrub forward just a little bit. We come up on this house that appears to still be standing, and its foundation is on a rock. I'm sure they knew it when they built it, and boy, that has come in handy. It doesn't appear that the house was damaged, but it's tough to say. I'm guessing they probably were not sitting right on the Broad River prior to this flood. You'll recognize this rear end of this old Chevy truck used as a planter at the driveway. And they've started to do a little cleanup so they can get back into their drive. You just see all of the buildup of trees and poles and such. I did a double take on that. And then here's a view of river having receded, but power of the water when it was at its height, just ripping a tree in half and splintering it. Then I finish up with a drive back down those switchbacks on 9. The lighting is better, so you can see the excavators working and what they're doing, and all the dump trucks lined up. It's quite busy with construction crews around putting everything back together. They're making amazing progress. So I plan on doing some more of these videos, just showing how we're getting things back together and recovering from the storm. If there's any place you'd like me to go video and show more details and just share information, drop me a comment. Thanks so much.